Brooke dropped the ring, and the internet dropped the receipt, faster than her fiancé allegedly dropped moral boundaries. When Brooke Schofield flashed her engagement ring, she expected applause, not a digital inquisition. But instead of congrats, she got, "Girl, are you okay?" Because within 0.2 seconds of the announcement.
That's always affected my whole life, like in this field and like outside of it. Just even growing up, I was so aware of what everybody thought about me, and I behaved differently, like accordingly. I'm just mentally like a little off in that way. So now it's way harder because I'm like, I take every single opinion and then run with it.
TikTok detectives crawled out of their caves with timestamps, throwback selfies, and enough tea to drown a Kardashian. The groom? Miles Canton, better known as Miles McFly. Because this man's past feels like it's straight out of a time-traveling horror movie. At first, it looked like a typical influencer romance. Soft launches, aesthetic beach pics, and the occasional cryptic quote.
Brooke Schofield getting married after only knowing this predator of a man for 4 months makes perfect sense. Like, it actually makes perfect sense when you're thinking about the fact that she has BPD.
Does Brooke Schofield, like, not have a manager or something? Because if there's one thing that girl is good at, it is making the public, like, question everything she ever does or says.
But the vibe shifted the moment people started whispering about Miles' sketchy past. He wasn't just some dude with industry ties. He was allegedly the lead character in a saga involving high school girls, flirty emojis, and just friends energy that screamed everything but platonic. Instead of basking in engagement bliss, Brooke found herself on the front lines of a digital witch hunt. And while most couples plan wedding venues, she's planning public defense statements. The real twist? Brooke stood by her man like this was a Nicholas Sparks movie. Only the ending's still TBD, and half the internet thinks it's going to be a horror sequel. This ain't your regular online backlash. This is Internet CSI Fiancé edition. And poor Brooke is caught between love of my life and predator allegations, like she accidentally said yes during a true crime episode. And sis, if the ring fits, the internet still digs up the receipts. The internet went full Sherlock the minute Brooke's man, Miles Canton, aka Miles McFly, showed up on her soft launch feed.
Brooke Schofield getting married after only knowing this predator of a man for 4 months makes perfect sense. Like, it actually makes perfect sense when you're thinking about the fact that she has BPD. And the way that she talked about her ex in the past, she's like, no, I was so brainwashed. Like, I'll never do that again. Never be unmedicated, you guys. People do heal.
But this wasn't about his daddy being the Back to the Future producer or his brunches with Kendall Jenner. No, the issue was way murkier and way younger. Allegedly, Miles was cozying up to a model named Isabella, who was reportedly still in high school. High school. We're talking alleged bed selfies, flirty emojis, cringe fan pages, and throwback posts that aged like unrefrigerated milk. TikToker Becca dropped the bomb with a viral expose that practically screamed, "FBI, open up!" Meanwhile, Brooke went into PR mode, filming her own TikTok to shut it down. Her defense, it was all cosplay, fake accounts, stan culture gone rogue. Basically, these weren't real texts, Your Honor. They were fan fiction, but the receipts were messier than Brooke's comment section. Whether or not the relationship was official, the optics were trash. Fans weren't buying just friends when the vibe screamed DM sliding predator. Internet watchdogs called it out. TikTok lit up like Times Square, and Brooke stood firm like she'd bet her entire career on this man's innocence. Here's the problem. When you're defending a man with these kind of allegations, innocent until proven guilty doesn't hit the same in influencer court. People didn't just clutch pearls, they threw them. Brooke's love story wasn't giving Notebook. It was giving Lifetime documentary narrated by a voiceover guy in a trench coat. And the kicker? All this got dragged right back into the light after the engagement announcement. Because nothing says forever like resurfaced grooming allegations and TikTok court testimony. Ashlyn, the girl who turned Brooke's engagement into a full-blown public intervention. Ashlyn didn't just throw shade. She hurled a flaming meteor of accusations. Her viral video? A scorched earth drag session calling Miles a predator, accusing Brooke of being love-bombed, and slapping a side of unsolicited BPD commentary like it was an emotional buffet. According to Ashlyn, the engagement made perfect sense. In the same way setting your house on fire to warm up makes sense. She roasted Brooke for allegedly only knowing Miles for 4 months. Spoiler, not true, but hey, TikTok facts are optional. Then proceeded to armchair psychoanalyze her entire trauma history. Oh, and she dragged her past exes into it for extra flavor. The wildest part? Ashlyn spun this like a relatable PSA for girls with BPD everywhere, claiming she'd made similar mistakes, just never with a man allegedly on the FBI's watch list. Her tone? Equal parts concerned older sister and chaotic truth teller with a vendetta. Think Dr. Phil meets Mean Girls, sponsored by Adderall and a ring light. And let's talk about that delivery. She didn't whisper it, she performed it. Like she was accepting an Emmy for Most Savage TikTok of 2025. Ashlyn basically said, Brooke, I'm not mad. I'm just deeply, irrevocably horrified by your life choices, and I'm going to make it everyone's business. Girl, this wasn't concern. It was content. Monetized, weaponized, and algorithm optimized. And Brooke? Oh, she clapped back. But not before the internet exploded into a war zone of TikTok stitches. Sis got engaged and suddenly found herself writing a dissertation in the TikTok comment section on her wedding week. So what happens when you call a girl with internet fame, public trauma, and a shiny new ring mentally unstable? Brooke didn't just defend herself. She unleashed a TikTok comment that read like a courtroom closing argument, a diary entry, and a roast all in one breath. First off, she clarified, she hasn't been dating Miles for 4 months. They've been living together for a year. And in case that wasn't clear enough, she added, a man who's never so much as raised his voice at me. Translation, your fave yells and arguments. Mine lights candles and bakes banana bread. But Brooke wasn't done. She slipped in the heavy artillery. You don't know more about my relationship than me. You don't even know where your eyebrows are. Boom, that's not a mic drop, that's a mic firebomb. This wasn't your typical influencer clapback. Brooke turned it into a full-blown soul purge. I've gone through unimaginable things, she wrote, clearly tired of TikTok trolls using her trauma as viral content fuel. And while she tried to keep it classy, the mean girl energy was undeniable. Imagine quoting Maya Angelou, then slapping someone with a fashion insult. Iconic? Possibly. Strategic? Debatable. Ashlyn may have lit the match, but Brooke threw gasoline with glitter. Her defense wasn't just about love, it was about reputation, survival, and reminding the internet she's not just a meme. She's a whole monologue waiting to happen. Brooke came for her bangs, and Ashlyn responded like she was defending the crown in a roast battle sponsored by Sephora and Rage. Ashlyn wasn't gonna let a crooked bangs comment slide. Not when she had a Wi-Fi connection and a vendetta. After Brooke's clapback about her eyebrows and microbangs, Ashlyn hit record like she was filming the reunion episode of Real Housewives of TikTok. And baby, she did not come to play. She came to end careers and collect tears. Her response? Less TikTok, more diss track with therapy buzzwords. She fired off insults like a sniper with perfect Wi-Fi. You're a racist, a mean girl, and dating a predator. That's not criticism, that's a digital guillotine. And the kicker? Where's your manager? Girl, if your read ends with HR level concern, you know you hit a nerve. Ashlyn's clapback wasn't just shady, it was poetic. She flipped Brooke's jab about bangs into a branding moment. Bangs became a personality, a protest, a warning label. She practically said, call me Bangs one more time and I'll start a GoFundMe for your therapy. And you'd think that'd be the end, right? Nah. Brooke, clearly running low on restraint and PR coaching, fired off another deleted comment. You can't talk about me with bangs like that. Ashlyn? She smiled, filmed another video, and basically said, try me again. I dare you. At this point, this wasn't about Miles. It wasn't even about Brooke. It was about TikTok dominance. This was gladiator warfare in contour and mascara. Two girls with ring lights and unresolved trauma swinging insults like medieval knights with iPhones. And just when you think Brooke would disappear into silence, she logs back on. And this time, she's explaining her villain era like she's pitching it to HBO. Emotional, dramatic, and just petty enough to get a standing ovation. She hopped online to deliver a confessional so intense, I swear the ring on her finger started melting from the heat. Brooke kicked things off by addressing that bangs comment, unfiltered and sprinkled with enough sass to start a fire. Brooke Schofield didn't plan for her engagement announcement to spark a full-on internet inferno, but the moment that ring hit the timeline, it wasn't happily ever after. It was drag her through the algorithm. Suddenly, everyone became an expert on her relationship, her mental health, her fiancé's entire criminal record, allegedly, and yes, even her taste in microbangs. We watched this saga unfold like a reality show filmed in hell, messy, savage, and weirdly captivating. There were viral call-outs, trauma TED Talks, flirtations mid-cancellation, and plot twists no screenwriter could predict. At one point, it was about love. Then, it was about grooming allegations. Then, suddenly, it was about eyebrows and making out. And through it all, Brooke was either having the best week of her life or the longest PR disaster of her career. This wasn't just to influencer drama. This was influencer warfare. And the internet? Oh, it didn't blink once. Because in the age of parasocial obsession, no one is too sacred to get publicly dissected for likes. Not even a bride-to-be with a trauma history and a fresh manicure. So whether you stand Brooke, hate follow her, or just showed up for the chaos, thank you for surviving this absolute circus. From predator exposés to petty bang shade, we've truly seen it all. And if this is what engagement season looks like now, buckle up, babes. The internet doesn't do love stories anymore. It does plot twists.